Hello, in this video I will show you how to use these materials properties. They can be used in case you demolish mesh or skinned mesh objects. Using these properties you can define inner material for demolished fragments and UV mapping. So first property here is mapping scale, and it allows you to define the scale of the inner UV mapping. Here I have my 4 examples. For this one it's 0.1, 0.5, 1 and 2. Now let's demolish them. And by default, if you didn't define any inner material, Rayfire Rigid will use outer material of this fragment, and the same material will be applied to inner surfaces. Let me demolish all of them. So here you can see this inner surface with this value was 0.1. As you can see, this inner surface is pretty blurry, and in this case, quality is a bit better because the scale is bigger. So the more texture get into this inner surface. And in this example, it was 1. As you can see, there's much more texture on the inner surface here. And here you can see I used value 2. So in this case, it used whole texture and even more than it could use. And as you can see, there are these seams because this texture is not tileable. So in case you want to use value more than 1, make sure that you have tileable texture so you won't get these seams inside. Next property here is inner surface, and it allows you to define material for inner surface of the fragments. So on this left example, I didn't have any inner material defined. In this case, I used this stone 2 material. As you can see, its texture differs from the material on these rocks. So now let me demolish objects. And as you can see, in this example, I didn't use any inner surface, so material on the object was used. And if you will go to mesh filter and pick this mesh or open mesh render, you can see there's just one material. And if you will select this mesh here, you can see that there's only one submesh. But if I will select this object, you can see that I have this inner material on these fragments, which I defined in the as inner surface material. But also there will be 2 materials in mesh render. And if you will select this mesh, you will see that there are 2 submeshes. And because of that, let me show you again. Here you can see my render batches here. So when I demolish this object, so here you can see there's only 66 batches right now. But if I will demolish this one, there'll be almost twice much batches, simply because I am using 2 submeshes for every object and 2 materials. So keep this in mind in case you will use this inner surface, and use it if it's only absolutely necessary for you. Next property here is UV region, and it allows you to define specific area on the texture which will be used as a place for UV mapping of the inner surfaces. So on the left example, I'm not using UV region, and on this example on the right, it's enabled. As you can see, when you enable it, it opens this min-max coordinates for you. So you can open UV editor, and it will show you applied texture. And as you can see, it shows right now this small area with this bright rock texture. So we can tweak this region using these coordinates. And if I will demolish objects now, in this case, as you can see, my mapping scale is 0.5, so it defines how much of this texture will be available for UV mapping. But in this case, since I'm using UV region, mapping scale doesn't work because it's already limited by this min-max coordinates. Now I see that all my inner surfaces is located at this area here. In this way, you can use one texture with multiple materials, like at one place there will be rock material, at another place there will be wooden material, at a third place there will be some kind of metal materials. and you will be able to define area on the texture which you want to use as inner surface. And in this case, there will be just one material and there will be just one submesh. So this is how we can use different texture for inner surfaces without creating these extra render batches and using just one submesh for your fragments.